What if I told you that your brain might be tapped into the same quantum field that governs the entire universe? That every thought you think, every decision you make could be connected to a vast network of information that spans across space and time itself. It sounds like science fiction, but what we're about to explore together challenges everything we thought we knew about consciousness, reality, and our place in the cosmic order. Tonight we're diving deep into one of the most controversial and mind-bending theories in modern science, quantum consciousness. If you find comfort in these gentle explorations at the intersection of science and mystery, I'd be grateful if you'd consider subscribing. Feel free to close your eyes, breathe deep, and let your imagination drift through these quantum possibilities. You're sitting exactly where you are right now. But what if I told you that the thoughts flowing through your mind at this very moment aren't just electrical impulses bouncing around inside your skull? What if they're actually quantum fluctuations connected to the same mysterious forces that govern particles across the entire cosmos? For over a century, scientists have tried to understand consciousness by treating the brain like a classical computer, with neurons firing in predictable patterns, sending electrical signals across synapses. But there's always been something missing from this picture. How does the wet 3-pound mass of neural tissue inside your skull give rise to the rich, subjective experience of being you? This is where quantum mechanics enters with some truly mind-bending possibilities. Deep within each nerve cell, there's a complex scaffolding made of proteins called microtubules. According to some researchers, they might be doing something far more extraordinary than maintaining cell structure. The microtubules in your neurons are arranged in precise geometric patterns, creating what some scientists believe could be quantum processing units. These structures can exist in different states, and according to quantum consciousness theory, these states might maintain quantum superposition, existing in multiple configurations simultaneously until a conscious observation collapses them into a specific state. Imagine billions of these quantum processes working in parallel throughout your brain, not processing information sequentially like a classical computer, but exploring multiple possibilities simultaneously through quantum superposition. This could explain how quickly you can recognize a face in a crowd, how effortlessly you understand complex sentences, or how you suddenly have creative insights that connect seemingly unrelated ideas. If consciousness emerges from quantum processes, quantum entanglement could potentially link conscious minds in ways we're only beginning to explore. If quantum states in one brain can become entangled with quantum states in another brain, it might provide a physical basis for phenomena like telepathy or collective consciousness. This isn't just wild speculation. There's growing experimental evidence that suggests quantum effects might play a role in biological systems, from photosynthesis to bird navigation. What if consciousness doesn't just use quantum mechanics, but is itself a fundamental feature of quantum reality? Some physicists propose that consciousness might be a quantum field, similar to the electromagnetic field or the Higgs field that gives particles mass. This would mean consciousness isn't produced by the brain but is something the brain tunes into, amplifies, and focuses. Your individual consciousness would be like a wave in an ocean of cosmic consciousness, connected to a vast field of awareness that permeates the entire universe. Consider the phenomenon of free will. In a classical deterministic universe, every action would be predetermined. But in a quantum universe, true randomness exists at the fundamental level. If consciousness operates through quantum processes, your choices might emerge from quantum indeterminacy, grounding your free will in the uncertainty principle. This perspective suggests that consciousness isn't just connected to quantum reality, it actively participates in creating reality at the quantum level. Every moment of awareness could be literally bringing aspects of reality into existence. Researchers at Princeton University spent nearly 3 decades studying whether human consciousness could influence physical systems. They built sensitive random number generators and asked volunteers to try to influence their output through intention alone. What they found across millions of trials was a small but statistically significant effect. Consciousness seemed to be able to subtly influence physical reality. The effects are tiny, but they're real and measurable. The Global Consciousness Project has been monitoring this phenomenon for over 2 decades, using a network of random event generators to detect coherent consciousness effects. Their data suggests that when large numbers of people focus attention on the same events, it creates measurable changes in quantum noise. If confirmed, this would mean that collective consciousness might actually influence the physical world on a global scale. the thoughts, emotions, and intentions of humanity as a whole might participate in shaping the reality we all share. What if memories aren't just stored in your brain, but are encoded in quantum fields that extend beyond your neural tissue? Dr. Penfield discovered that when he stimulated patients' brains during surgery, they would experience vivid memories with perfect clarity, often more detailed than normal recall. From a quantum perspective, memories might be encoded not just in neural patterns but in quantum field fluctuations. Brain stimulation might change the quantum resonance frequency, allowing access to information stored in quantum states normally below conscious awareness. If memory operates through quantum fields, then the boundary between your memories and others might be more fluid than we imagine. Quantum entanglement could create connections between memory fields of different individuals, especially those with strong emotional bonds. Those moments of sudden understanding, when a complex concept becomes clear, might be your consciousness connecting to quantum information networks that contain that understanding. The flash of insight that solves a problem might be accessing quantum field fluctuations that contain the solution. What if emotions also have a quantum component? Resonance patterns that extend beyond individual minds. Think about walking into a room and immediately sensing tension or feeling instant connection with a stranger. These might be your quantum consciousness detecting emotional resonance patterns in quantum fields around other people. If emotions operate through quantum processes, then emotional contagion becomes not just psychological, but physical. When you're with someone experiencing strong emotions, their quantum emotional patterns might literally entangle with yours, creating shared emotional states at the quantum level. When two people fall in love, when deep connections form, quantum consciousness theory suggests these bonds might involve actual quantum entanglement between consciousness fields. When your quantum states entangle with another person's, you're no longer separate individuals but part of a larger quantum system. This could explain why people in love often report sharing thoughts and emotions, why parents seem to have intuitive knowledge about their children. They might be quantum entangled at the level of consciousness itself. As we stand at this intersection of consciousness and quantum mechanics, we're confronting possibilities that challenge our most basic assumptions. We're discovering that consciousness might not be an accidental byproduct of chemistry, but a fundamental feature of quantum reality itself. Whether quantum consciousness theory proves correct or leads us toward even deeper understanding, one thing is becoming clear. Consciousness is far more mysterious and powerful than we ever dared to believe. You're not just a conscious observer in a physical universe, you might be a co-creator participating in the universe's ongoing process of self-actualization. The journey continues, the experiments become more sophisticated, and the evidence slowly accumulates. We're exploring the possible nature of your own mind, the potential quantum foundations of your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Welcome to a universe where mind and matter might be far more intimately connected than we ever dared to dream.